Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Selamat pagi Bapak dan Ibu. Let me introduce myself. My name is Amalia Zura, together with my co-author, Dr. Anna Maria Trianggraini. We are both from Faculty of Law, Universitas Trisakti, Jakarta. We're going to present our paper on the third Borobudur International Symposium 2020 on Science and Technology, Humanities, and Social Sciences. Now I will share screen first. Okay, we can see here that the title of our paper will be Supervision of the Safety of Processed Food from the Perspective of Consumer Protection Law. We're moving to the introduction, and here are some background why we are writing this research. The right to food is a human right. It protects the rights of all human beings free from hunger, free from food insecurity, and malnutrition. If you're talking about food, then food quality and safety are important aspects of right to food. And of course, unsafe food is a threat to human health, economies, and mostly to vulnerable groups such as women, children, people in conflict areas, and also migrant people. And then food safety needs to be a concern for all stakeholders, especially the existence of standards that guarantee the safety of consumers. Because of that, supervision is needed to prevent and act against perpetrators who do not comply with. Then we believe that the study of the supervision system among the processed food supervisory authorities is very important. If we are talking about the consumer rights, then we talk about the right to safety. It means that consumers should be protected against the goods and services which are hazardous to life and property. And because of that, then the purchased goods and services availed should not only meet their immediate needs, but also to fulfill their long-term interests. So we believe that this research has a purpose to describe and analyze the supervision of the safety of processed food from the perspective of consumer protection law. We will focus on the consumer protection law because we also know that this study could be discussed from many perspectives or many angles. We are moving to the research problems. We define two research problems here. First is, how is the government supervision system before, during, and after circulation or transaction between consumers and business actors? And the second is, what is the mechanism for restoring consumer rights if there are violations by business actor against applicable regulations and policies? There are some facts that I can share here about the research methods. First is that this research is a juridical research. It means that it uses two approach methods, namely the statutory approach and the conceptual approach. Next, the regulations that are used as the basis for the analysis are, first is Indonesian Constitution 1945, and then Law number 8 of 1999 concerning consumer protection, and Law number 12 of 2012 concerning food, and its implementing regulations. Also regional regulations and food safety principles that apply internationally. This research used the conceptual approach to explain the meaning and limits and criteria for processed food safety. So it is necessary to define food safety concepts and standards, both internal and external supervision, and also preventive and repressive supervision, as well as the mechanism for restoring consumer rights. So in this study, we are using secondary data, which includes primary legal materials, namely in the forms of laws, government regulations, and implementing regulation in the field of food and consumer protection. The secondary legal materials are also needed, it means materials that provide information or matters relating the content of primary legal sources and their implementation, including literature in the forms of books and legal journals related to the doctrine of food safety, supervision, and sanctions. In this study, the authors used qualitative data analysis, and conclusions made in the study were carried out using deductive reasoning methods. We're moving to the research result. Then there are some results that we have found. First, that supervision of processed food safety in Indonesia involves several ministries, and also the Food and Drug Supervisory Agency, or BPOM, or Badan Pengawas Obat and Makanan. Because of that, integrated steps are needed in the food safety control system so that it can result in an increase in the effectiveness of food safety assurance. The second research that we are found is that the results of this study are useful for providing input for regulators and policymakers in the food sector at the technical implementation level. In addition, increasing the awareness of business actors to always pay attention and comply with food safety standards aimed at ensuring consumer safety, because the consumer safety is very important, as we should put it as the main goals of the business goals itself. And then the conclusion of our research are, first, processed food control systems are still contained in several regulations with the supervision of different authorities, such as the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Maritime Affairs, the Ministry of Trade, the Ministry of the Environment, and the Food and Drug Supervisory Agency, or BPOM. Therefore, it is necessary to coordinate and synergize between the ministries or agencies to shorten the bureaucratic chain of supervising the safety of processed food. And the last one, that mechanisms or procedures for the restoration of consumer rights in the event of the violation of food safety regulation or standards by business actors can be carried out through the Consumer Dispute Settlement Agency, or it can be also in district courts. So those are our presentation. Thank you for your attention. We are open for any questions and also discussion, or maybe if you need further discussion, we should email us at those email address. Thank you once again, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.